Thank you for tuning in to Mr. Cliff's Toy Shop. On today's review, we take a look at the Marvel Legends MODOK. Today I'll be reviewing this figure in the following categories: accessories, articulation, design, is it essential to your collection, functionality, and price. Once those scores are totaled, I'll give you my opinion if this figure is a pass or a purchase. So something worth noting is that MODOK has to be assembled. He comes in packaged this way. As I'm looking at this, maybe this could have been a Build-A-Figure. Not sure. These two individual pieces may be too large. So for accessories, you really don't get much. I'm going to be generous and count these two pieces as an accessory because MODOK is able to, the proper word isn't stand, but he's able to sit up straight without these pieces. So you get this flame effect piece, which I really don't like. Really wish they would have gave us something that was clear, more along the lines of what came with Charles Xavier in his hover chair, or just a clear stand. I don't like how this plastic looks. The one that's on the box looks a lot better than this. Then you receive one interchangeable faceplate. And if you can see on mine, there is a lot of paint missing from the teeth. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I'm not happy with how mine is painted, but the faceplate itself does look nice. Then you only get 2 pair of hands. So you receive these hands here, of course, with the hands on the figure as well. There's a lot that could have been included. We could have got another interchangeable faceplate. We could have gotten some beams that came out of the top of his head. So very light for accessories and pretty disappointing. So for accessories, I'm going to give this figure a 4 out of 10. So before we dive into articulation, let's actually get this figure built. So he does not come with instructions. You receive this, which I thought was instructions, but it's not. So what I'm going to do is simply place the top of his head on like so. Once that's done, I'm going to go ahead and apply the back piece, but I'm not going to completely close it. I'm just going to sort of align it like so. The reason I don't want to close it is because I want to attach this piece, which goes here. Once you're able to do that, just close all around it. It snaps in place. And this is what I meant when I said, that he can stand upright without that flame effect piece. Next, you want to get the 2 legs, which aren't marked, but you can tell by the way the bottom of the foot is facing which leg goes where. And you just snap it in place like so. Take the other side and do exactly the same. So for articulation, it should be interesting. So you get absolutely no movement at the head, also no movement at the torso. The only areas that appear to be articulated are the arms and the legs. So starting with the arm, it's able to rotate. Guess that counts as a full 360. No upper bicep cut. You do get movement at the elbow, which goes side to side. If you can get it to go up properly, it goes up about that much. The wrists do rotate and they go side to side. Coming down to the legs rotate. There is an upper thigh cut. The knees appear to be single jointed, bending in about that much. They can extend out about that much. The ankles, let's see, are able to come down that much, and they are able to barely move forward. The knees are single jointed, bending in about that much. And you do get rotation at this part here, and this joystick is also rotated. So for articulation, MODOK is pretty stationary. I'm going to give him a 3 out of 10. So for design, let's start with the things that I don't like. As mentioned, I cannot stand this blast effect piece. It just doesn't look good. It looks very toyish and made for kids. So hopefully someone creates something better than this to be used. If not, more than likely I'm going to display my MODOK without this. They show him on the box with flame effect pieces which look much greater than this. Not sure why. Yeah, I am sure why we got this, because Hasbro took shortcuts. Now, the other part here that I don't like is this marble effect within the plastic, and it is very transparent all over the gold areas of this figure, which is most of it. Now, I watched a video, I forgot who video it was, and one of the Hasbro representatives stated that the reason that this is like this is because when the metallic paint is used, it's impossible to remove this imperfection. And I'm paraphrasing, that's not exactly what he said. But I'm like, yeah, I don't think that's the case. No, I don't make toys, so this person has way more insight than me. But when I look at McFarlane, for example, that does metallic paint, you don't see all of these effects within, or defects, which I'm going to call them, within that paint. So with that to the side, let's start with some of the positives. And the positives, I think MODOK looks very good. I am really digging his creepy face, this huge head. You can see that the hair itself has some highlights. Some areas do look better than others. You can see over here, that doesn't look so good. But then right here in the front, it looks pretty good itself. The eyes are actually two-tone. So there is a whitish iris, but there are two types of white, and the pupil has a different type of white. Not sure if that's coming through pretty clear. And I just like this mean or frowning expression on his face. No color to the purple parts. That would have been cool if maybe some areas were metallic, or if you had some dry brushing, but no, none of that's done. But then I do like the effects with the purple hair, the red, the green looks pretty cool here. So not bad. Now, one of the things that I don't like, I should have mentioned this, but I just realized it. It's not that apparent, but you can see the seam, as this is a faceplate. It never fully flushes all the way. You can see when I push it, it closes that gap just a little bit. Not the biggest thing if you're looking at him from the front, which I'm pretty sure most people will be displaying him. And just before I score this, if you could take a look at the back of the package, do you see the difference? Here it's translucent, there it's not. And even in here, there appears to be some translucent areas, and even the tips of it painted white. This does not have that. So for overall design, man, I was fiddling back and forth with the score. Just to let you know, I'm going to remove at least 2 points just for the imperfections in this plastic, as it is just a lot. So for overall design, I'm going to give MODOK a 7 out of 10. So is MODOK essential to your collection? It depends. If you are an Avengers fan, then I would say absolutely he is. Definitely more of a B or C lister type of character. But what's going to help MODOK here is that we don't have a lot of options of MODOK. As far as I know, it's only the Toy Biz version, and that's it. For collectors who are looking to increase their AIM lineup, this figure is absolutely needed. So as far as being essential to your collection, I'm going to give MODOK a 8 out of 10. So for functionality, this is going to be quick, as he just doesn't come with a lot. So to remove this faceplate, really you just pull it out. It's really not locked in. And you just insert the other one and you push. And again, you can see the space on the side. And there is his second head sculpt, which I like. To change the hands, once I find them, simple pull, put this in place, and then you can grip his joystick. Which is also which is also functional. Get it to go up and down, side to side, and around. It may have been better to, you know what? Let's take the hand off, and then let's do it this way. Yeah, my advice would be to put the hand on the joystick first, and then place it back on the arm. Now, this shouldn't be too long. There just isn't a lot of movement here, and I can understand why. But the fact that they really constructed this, I want to say, is one piece, but it's not one piece, as these are all separate components. But you would think that the upper portion should be able to turn. That way you can rotate the head left and right. Now you do get some motion here, So you're able to turn that all the way around. The legs have a decent amount of articulation in them, but you don't need them as he's not a character who can stand. And I have to mention this again, and it appears to be more prominent with this face. I just don't like all of the spacing right here. It's just a lot. And you can't particularly glue it in because then you're stuck with one face. It also would have been cool if there were some light up features, especially being that this is such a large character. It would have been very easy to hide some components for lights into this figure. So for overall functionality, the parts that he comes with, they do work. I like the joystick on the chair, but aside from that, this figure is just super limited. And very quickly, just to point out, there are pretty much the same issues with the teeth, just missing paint as it is on the other face. So for overall functionality, he's pretty limited. I'm going to give MODOK a 4 out of 10. So for pricing, MODOK comes in at $50. That's before taxes, that's before shipping. I was able to get mine from Target, so throw in taxes, I'm looking at $55. So now, is MODOK worth the price of admission? So first, let's see what he comes with. In terms of accessories, you don't get much. You get an interchangeable face, which is always cool to have, and you get 2 pair of hands. He should have a few more. Now, what's really missing from this figure is having effect pieces to shoot out of his head. Hasbro could have did what they normally do, recycle parts from somewhere else and just add that in. So it sucks not to be able to have certain things such as that. The quality of the paint really bothers me. Usually I can get away with this on some of the Marvel Legend figures, but I think with the characters, maybe it's just not as prominent, as it's just not so much overall space to just see as many defects as it is. So I may actually paint that over time, and that's usually not a good thing for an action figure. Well, not for the action figure. It's usually not a good thing for the collector if you feel the necessity to have to paint something over. So for the pricing, the amount seems fair. However, having the character in hand, he feels more of a $35 figure. So as far as pricing, I'm going to give MODOK a 8 out of 10. So that should give MODOK an overall Cliff score of 32 out of 60. If that score is incorrect, I'll make sure to fix it here. So now, is MODOK a pass or a purchase? You don't have a lot of options for this guy. So if you are looking to complete your AIM lineup, it's either this or Toy Biz. So he is an absolute purchase. So for comparisons, we're going to keep this pretty light today. So let's slide MODOK over. Let's bring in Professor X hover chair. And this is what I mean with the clear. I would rather have this. Let's see if this works. I think it does. It will work. It's the exactly same size, same shape. So it works. It just looks silly with this red flame effect piece. I'm going to figure something out. For anyone wondering if you can just stick this piece in and remove this part, you can't. So at some point, I will probably paint both of these, and this MODOK looks a lot better than this chair. So let's go ahead and get a figure up here. Marvel Legends Rogue, Target exclusive. If I can get Rogue to stand. There you go. Let's throw in 2 big figures. Let's throw in the Monster Venom. Repaint it. And let's throw in Marvel Select Hulk. Yeah, I like that size comparison. And yes, this Hulk is still lying around because he's that fantastic. So thank you for tuning in to Mr. Cliff's Toy Shop. I hope to see you during the next review.